Γεια σας, καλησπέρα. Good afternoon, my dear friends. I'm Elena, and you're watching Made with Yiayia. For those that are watching me the first time, I'm the Yiayia, or grandmother, that's the Greek word for grandmother, that loves to cook and bake. And because through COVID, I've missed so much hanging out with my friends and family and cooking up feasts and enjoying it with them, I decided to start this YouTube channel. And I'm sharing beautiful recipes that have been perfected with measurements that you and your family can try in your own home. Today, I wanted to show you a delicious Greek bread. It's called Tsoureki. But the twist is that I'm going to put all the ingredients in my bread machine. I've got the perfect measurements that brings 2 nice loaves. Or you can do 4 smaller ones. So I'm gonna go grab all my ingredients and let's get baking. Oppa! When we make something in an actual bread machine, you still want to follow the guidelines, right? So you're going to start with all your liquids first, and then you're going to top off with the flour, and the yeast goes right on top. So the first thing we're going to add to this is 1/2 cup of milk, 1/2 cup of water. We're going to beat 2 eggs, just slightly, kind of break the yolks a little bit. So it is definitely an egg type base bread. So delicious. It's one of our favorites. As far as dessert, it's not too sweet. Just perfect with a nice cup of coffee, cup of tea, glass of milk for the kids. There we go. So we're gonna do the 2 eggs. I always add the rind of 1 whole orange. You can see that's a good size orange. So there's the rind. And then we juice whatever juice comes out of it, okay? So the rind and the juice of 1 orange. For 2 breads, it calls for 1 cup of sugar. At this point, I do like to just gently move the sugar around a little bit in the actual liquids, just so it doesn't kind of sit at the bottom. It will mix well, but that's kind of what I do in this recipe that I've played with for a while to perfect, because I do love my Tsoureki. 1/8 of a bar of butter, 6 cups of flour, 1, 2, on the 3rd cup there, I like to add the spice that gives it this delicious aroma and flavor. It's called maxlepi. So our main ingredient that gives it a very unique flavor as a bread is called maxlepi in Greek. Now I find it in Arabic stores here, and it's called maxlep. So you can definitely find it in an Arabic store. Sometimes some of the Yugoslavian store. It has to be some type of European type store that would carry it. You wouldn't find it in your regular grocery stores, okay? So 1.5 teaspoons. And now we're going to continue with our last 3 cups of flour. You put your bread machine on the dough setting. There we go. On the dough setting. For me, it's about 1.5 hours, but I do pay attention to it just to make sure everything gets absorbed and mixed in beautifully and you get that nice dough ball. I will show you exactly what that looks like when it gets to that point. Now on top, you want to make sure you have yeast that's been tested. So I do a lot of baking, so I know my yeast is good. I actually keep it in the freezer. For this recipe, we need again another 1.5 teaspoon, okay? And that just gets sprinkled on the top. Now I'm gonna put it into my machine, get it started, and I'll let you see what it looks like when it becomes a nice little ball. So here is our dough. As you can see, the cycle has stopped. The dough has a nice shine to it. It's gonna start rising now. So this is how you want it to look when it's done. When you touch it, it doesn't stick to your fingers. Our dough is ready, and now I'm going to show you how we're going to prepare it so it can rise one more time. Get it out here. I like to make it a nice long piece. As you can see, I haven't used any additional flour yet. It's stuck a little bit, but nothing major. It's better just to leave it as is. So now I'm going to cut it in half. About. This was a little more narrow. Now this part, I'm going to cut again into 3. And all we do, make them little balls, and 1, 2, 3. This one, I'm going to make 2 smaller ones. So I'm going to cut it in half. And then this, I'm going to cut into 3. Again, just kind of cup it in your hand and make it into a little ball. And 1 more. It's a lot of fun. I always love making this bread. It already smells amazing. That maxlepi or maxlep spice that you put in here, it gives it such a beautiful, beautiful smell. Okay, so when that's ready, what we're going to do is, let's start with the bigger one first. We're going to roll them out into the same length. When it's bigger, they're going to be a little bit more thick. There we go. And then third one. Move it out of the way a little bit there. Let's do this one. I just kind of roll it to me and just keep going out, rolling out, rolling out. You see this dough is a little bit different when you're handling it. It almost seems like a ripping effect. What is happening right now is the dough, it's kind of hard to explain actually. When it's cooked, you'll see what I mean. It causes a very unique, a very different flakiness, so to speak, when you rip the bread apart to eat it, or cut it, of course. Okay, these are about, give or take, the same length. So we're gonna make our braid. 1, 2, up, around. There we go. And our other side. And there we go. There's our one. And like I said, for these ones, instead of making two bigger ones, I'm making the one bigger one and then two smaller ones. So again, just roll it out. Bring it to you, bring it to you. Slowly, slowly. Doesn't have to be perfect. There we go, the third one. I've warmed up my oven just a little bit at 150, 160 and turned it off. I'm gonna put these in there to let them rise again. Like I said, this is the type of dough that just needs to rest a lot. So now I'm going to leave it for a good half hour, 45 minutes until they double in size. And then there's one more step before we actually cook them. Our tsoureki has risen basically double in size. Now we're just going to apply an egg wash, which is 1 egg yolk beaten with a tablespoon of milk. Once you coat one, then I add some sesame seeds. I love having the sesame seeds on it. Hasn't even started to cook yet and it smells amazing. I have started preheating my oven to 350 degrees. Once we put it in the oven, it's going to bake for a half hour to 45 minutes. Sprinkle our sesame seeds. There we go. The oven is ready. Almost perfect timing. There we go. Our finished product. Again, it's going to go in the oven for 30 minutes. Keep watching it. If it needs a little bit more, we'll go up to 45 till it has a nice golden color. And I'll show you soon exactly how that's gonna look. 30 minutes was perfect timing for these today at 350 degrees. As you can see, still a bit warm. I did let them sit for a little bit. They've got a gorgeous, beautiful golden color. And the bottom is also perfect. You want it to be that color. So now I'm going to show you what I was trying to explain to you as how this spice actually affects the dough. Watch this. See how it's like a stringy? That's what it does. It's so soft and moist inside. Okay. Pretty cool, eh? Now just taste it. As always, perfection. Please, my dear friends, give this recipe a try if you have a bread machine. It really cuts a lot of the work. Make sure you have a day ahead of you when you're going to do it, so it can just rest and rise and take its time so you can get this beautiful, delicious bread. Please like the recipe, share, subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss any upcoming recipes that come out every week. Again, I'm Elena and you've been watching Made with Yiayia. Oppa!